What up, y'all? Appreciate you showing up, hanging out, listening to my dumb ass. Like and subscribe. So, I want to talk about a great person. This person has been put in a position of power at the Xbox organization. And before this person was put into this position of power, this person showed her, now you know who it is. She showed how good she was during the ABK trial and stuff. They put her on the stand. She said, "Bra-ga-ga, pow, pow, pow." And I was like, that was like one of the few parts of the actual like testimony that I heard. It was her. Who am I talking about? Of course, I'm talking about Sarah Bond. And she killed it. She was on point on the ABK deal. She was on point. I was thoroughly impressed. Look, all they needed to do was film it and put it out. It would be a movie scene because she was like the prosecutor, the people against Microsoft was like blah 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 blah. She was like snap snap snap. Nope, it was good. Of course, I'm paraphrasing, but you know what I'm saying. Anyway, I want to talk about Queen Sarah Bond. She is making moves, right? So she's CEO, queen of Xbox right now. And that is the hardware, I would assume, Game Pass and all of the kind of ancillary things that are connected to Xbox as a business, right? The business of Xbox, that's her. Matt Booty, he's the games dude. He's the Xbox Game Studio. So there's the distinction. So anyway, Sarah Bond, in a tweet, I think, or a memo, or I don't know what it was, but anyway, she said that they are creating a new outfit, a section, a movement for forward and backwards compatibility for future Xbox consoles. I will assume the next Xbox. And I heard that and I was like, yeah, that's what's up. That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear. I want to hear stuff like the games you bought back in the OG Xbox, we gonna make them work on your future Xbox. Not even the one I got now, the future one I haven't even bought yet. I haven't even been awarded yet. The handheld Xbox, I'm gonna be playing OG Xbox games on it because that's what they finna do. Maybe, I don't know, hopefully. And that's cool. And now, like you put together what she has said in the past couple of months, right? She said that the next Xbox is going to be a giant leap forward in terms of generational leap. It'll be the biggest generational leap, right? And I know I touched on this before, but the guy who was in charge of the AI movement at Microsoft just retired. Kahim, I think his name is Kahim. Keem something. I don't know his last name. Anyway, I don't think that's his first name either. Doesn't matter. But he's been in plenty of videos and stuff, but everybody loved him. He's like, I'm done. I think he was there for 26 years. It's like, I'm retired. I don't know why he left, but maybe it's an organizational shift or something, with the ABK deal. He felt it was a good time to bounce. Who knows? But it wasn't like, oh, he's getting fired like Jim Ryan. You know what I'm saying? Oh, the travel is so bad, I'm homesick. No, he didn't say that. He was just like, I'm done. 26 years in the same place, you get tired. Anyway, he was the leader of the AI movement. So him retiring means that they have something because he was the AI guy, right? Of course, they have other people to fill in, the team behind him, under him, whatever. So, look, it's like everybody's like doom and gloom. Oh my gosh, the leader of this is gone. Nobody can do the job. It's like, of course there are people who can do it, obviously. He is one man. He may be the best man for the job. He may be the second best man for the job. Maybe that's why he retired. He saw someone else, or he was training someone else up to take his place. You never know with these things. But anyway, the point is, Microsoft is moving towards the AI stuff, right? And I know I touched on this before, but I want to reiterate it because it's important for ponies and donkey unicorns to understand that how Microsoft is approaching future consoles may bear fruits of what they're saying. Like when Sarah Bond says it's going to be the biggest generational leap, right? You're like, please, when they went 3D to PlayStation 1 and all this, that was the biggest one. And I'm like, I mean, that was a big leap, yes. But what she's talking about, what they're talking about, and how I understand it, if they have an NPU, a neural processing unit, AI chip, that's what that is, right? If they have that to take care of all of the AI functions, meaning like NPC AI, routines, all that stuff, like in, what was the game? Dragon's Dogma. That's why the game runs like crap, because there's so much AI and all the different NPCs that it bogs down and the frame rate goes to poo-poo, right? That's why people figured it out on a PC to kill all the NPCs, to kill the AI routines, you get better frame rate. So if all of that is taken care of by an NPU, neural processing unit, then the graphics and the CPU, more importantly, the CPU can concentrate on the frames, because right now the CPU is doing the AI stuff and everything else, all the logics, right? So if they have a secondary running in parallel chip, NPU, then the CPU can do all the frames it wants. And so that's why they're saying this, because they're offloading some of the things that don't necessarily have to do with frame rate, right? That makes sense. Like if you think about it, it makes sense. It's like, you know, the NPU do all the AI stuff, all the NPC stuff, whatever else. Maybe it'll do the resolution scaling as well. Depends on how they do the GPU. I mean, GPU is just for resolution, push it into pixels. But if you want to do smart AI, interpolation and all that stuff, then that's AI stuff, right? So maybe, they'll have a super powerful, well, I don't know, super powerful, but powerful enough AI chip in there to do both things, AI functions for NPCs and resolution scaling and such, or interpolation, or whatever you want to call it. It's all the same. It's not all the same, but you know what I'm saying. And so that frees up the CPU, more importantly, the CPU for the frames. So you can have 60 frames on everything, 120 frames on some stuff, maybe, depends on, once again, how they code it and how they do it, right? Like if a developer goes in and says, I'm not gonna use that NPU, I don't know what that's a devil chip, I don't want to use that, then the game's gonna suck and it's not gonna run right. It's just like now, a lot of the devs aren't using all of the tools. They're not using any of the tools because they have built the game on a backbone and a system that doesn't have those tools. So they would have to put in a lot more work. That is the PlayStation 5, I'm saying. It doesn't have the tools. So, and it's funny. I'm not gonna go into PlayStation 5 Pro anyway, but it's interesting to me, and I am interested in what they're going to do. Now, I know in the past, Microsoft has said some stuff, Xbox says some stuff, oh, we're going to do this and that, and VR, blah, 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 all this stuff, and then, sometimes it doesn't come to fruition. But Sarah Bond is a different beast. Sarah Bond is not Phil Spencer. I'm not saying Phil Spencer lies all the time, but, he says stuff, and things change, then he has to say something different. He has to say something else. And I don't think that's, everybody's calling him a liar or not a flip-flopper, but, but it's business. When the environment of business changes, you have to change your plans. If you don't adapt, you will be left behind. You will become extinct. Just look at Sony. They're struggling right now because they refuse to change. They refuse to adapt. They're forcing themselves to adapt right now by firing Jim Ryan. Hiroki Totoki's taking the reins and we got to straighten the ship up. And that's what he's doing because he's the CFO of Sony, I believe. And I think he's something else. COO? I don't remember. He's like 3 different C's. It's crazy. He's 3 different chiefs. And so, I know they mentioned, PlayStation 5 Pro is going to have PSSR, which is, I forgot what it stands for. It's an AI in resolution, super scaling or something. And I'm like, is it really though? I mean, I know Sony has some knowledge and experience in AI stuff, and I would assume more so in their cameras and such. But how can you apply that to PlayStation, you know? And also, Sony's not a software company. We've known this forever. I mean, they started off hardware. They had to buy the API in order to make the PlayStation 1. They bought Psygnosis for them to make the PlayStation 1 API. That's how bad they suck at, well, now I don't know. Mark Cerny's pretty good. He's good at hardware. He's also good at software. He was at Sega doing all kind of crazy stuff. So he can make hardware sing and dance. But I think the power is such that I don't know if he can pull off those tricks that much anymore, because it's diminishing returns. Because it's like, you look at something like Hellblade, right? And you're like, that looks good. And then you look at everything that PlayStation has put out, and it doesn't look as good as Hellblade 2 coming out. And so you're like, wait, I thought the PlayStation 5 was just as powerful, or maybe more powerful. It's obviously not, because they have not been able to produce results like Hellblade 2 on the PlayStation 5. Why is that? Why can't the PlayStation 5? Why haven't they made a game that looks better than Hellblade 2 looks? They had the lead. All the devs are over there making games. What's the problem? Why haven't we seen this? Why is Xbox, the first this gen console, next gen system, making a game that actually looks next gen? Why is that? You know? Is that going to kind of answer a little bit of the questions as far as, which is the more powerful console? Do you think that the one that has the best graphics may be more powerful? Maybe. I mean, the only way to find out is to have a third-party game that runs both games. Well, see, you can't even do it that way, because third-party usually isn't that good. They don't code to the metal. And I mean, even though they use Unreal Engine 5.4, I believe, if Sony used that engine in-house, first party, they might have some good results, but they are not interested. You know, I mean, I understand the notion where they use their own proprietary engine, so they don't have to pay Epic anything, no royalties, which is cool for them business-wise. But right now, the zeitgeist is about Unreal Engine, and Hellblade is, everybody's talking about Hellblade, and it's not negative. I mean, some people trying to be like 30 frames, blah blah blah. It's like, all right, look, you want 60 frames? Go buy a PC. I listened to the Lord's podcast, Iron Lord podcast. It was like a 5-hour podcast, but it was really good. It was funny. It was a funny one today, boy. I was like, I mean, it was on Sunday, but it was funny yesterday. But yeah, they went in. Jez Corden called in. Hargeet called in. It was good. And King and Attic went at it about the 30 frames. Attic is trying, but you know, I don't get it where all these people are upset about 30 frames. And then they try to pull up the Aaron Greenberg quote where he's like, 60 frames is going to be the standard. I think that's what he said, paraphrasing. Right? And that's, Attic brought that up, right? And then King said, show me where he said Xbox Series X and S. Show me where he said that in that quote. He didn't say it. Because Xbox is an ecosystem. It's Game Pass. Game Pass is on PC. PC can do 60. It's simple as that. And people are just stuck on these console. It's the same thing that PlayStation. They're stuck on the console. They gave up PC. They used to make PCs. And they gave it up. Mainly because nobody wanted their PCs. Because you have to make a product that people want. You just can't make a product because it's a market and people are making money and you could do it too. That's not how it works. You have to make a compelling product that people want to buy. If you make a PlayStation PC You make it look fly. You put freaking RGBs or just blue and whites and blacks, lights in it. And you put a big old PlayStation on it. And you say it's the PlayStation PC. It's a PC, but it's a PlayStation. And if you, I don't know, get some code monkeys to make your own OS, or just use Linux, because that's what you're using on the PlayStation anyway. You could, I mean, the market is open. Nobody's stopping Sony from making a dope-ass PC with a dope-ass OS to just destroy the market and take over. Nobody's stopping them. They're stopping themselves because they're scared, because they can't do it. They don't know how to do it. They are not confident in their skill set to do it. And they were in there. They were making laptops and everything. Vio. Remember the Vios? That was Sony. But they gave up. You know, maybe they'll get back to it. Maybe they'll make a handheld. I think they will make another handheld, an actual handheld. But Microsoft's going to beat them to the punch. And then Sony, as usual, will follow. They will follow the leaders. I mean, in this case, Microsoft is following the lead. They're following Steam Deck, who is the leader, surprise leader. And they're saying, okay, you know, we didn't think that we could do this, but the only way to do it, to really, really do it, is to be native Xbox games, Game Pass PC games, Steam, Epic Store, GOG, Good Old Games, all the stores on that one handheld to have access to all those games. That's the only way it's gonna work, and they know that, and that's why they said, "Oh, we want to put some stores on Xbox." Like, why would you do that? Because they're getting ready. I mean, they didn't say Steam, but Steam will be the biggest get if they just got Steam. I mean, they'll probably get Epic because, you know, Tim Sweeney like money. But if they just had Steam on the new Xbox handheld, forget about it. You know, it's crazy. But, you know, and this is all connected to the AI, Saraband, the next generation, handheld. It is all connected. And it's not dire like some people think. It's not gloom and doom like some people think. To me, it feels... Somebody got a flat tire. It feels... Oh, no, it's a flappy flap. It's a tarp on a truck. Anyway, you probably saw it. But it feels like the future is promising. It feels like, oh yeah, Microsoft is seeing what's going on. They're making decisions. They're testing the market. They're testing the waters. Those 4 games, they tested the waters. Guess what? PlayStation gamers don't buy games. Remember that narrative? They're saying, oh, Xbox players don't buy games. Y'all just cheap welfare Game Pass, blah, 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 right? Everything that they have said, the donkey, unicorns, and the ponies, everything that they have said has flipped and reversed right back onto them. They literally don't buy games. We're looking at all the sales. It's like, remember, I didn't even talk about this. The MAU, the monthly active user chart on Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo. We don't care about Nintendo, but Xbox and PlayStation. Not one PlayStation first-party game on that list. It was a top 10 or top 20. I think it was top 10. Might have been top 20. I think it was top 10. Not one. But you know what was on PlayStation's list? Xbox games. Call of Duty. Minecraft. Was Grounded on there? I don't think Grounded was on there. I don't think it was. But I'm like, how? Yeah. This is what happens, right? A list like that comes out. They see that they got a super L, right? The ponies and the donkey unicorns. They can't say nothing, so they're sticking to this 30 frames. Hellblade sucks, blah blah blah. You notice they ain't saying nothing else because they ain't got nothing else to say. That's not even a talking point. That's not even a debate point. But Addict and whoever else is arguing it because they feel they need to. I don't know. They're gonna play it anyway. He's gonna play it on PC at 60 frames. So why is he even arguing the point? And King's point was like, yo, get a PC. I can run it at 60. In the Xbox ecosystem, it runs at 60. You just have to have the right machine to run it. And people are upset, oh, but I have an Xbox Series S. Well, guess what? You're not running to the 60. If you have a 4-banger, if you have a Pinto, don't expect to win a drag race with a Mustang or any mediocre car. I'm just saying. And then they're like, well, oh, the Xbox Series S is holding games back. It's like, no, it's not. Because you can still play it on PC at 60. How is the 30 frames per second Xbox Series S version holding back the 60 frames per second PC version? How? It's not. They scale these games. So, that whole narrative doesn't work. What was holding back this generation was PlayStation. You look at all PlayStation's games, and sure, some of them look good, some of them look great. None of them look like Hellblade. I'm just saying, isn't that a coincidence? Isn't that suspicious? Don't you find that suspicious? It's a coincidence, ain't it? I'm just saying, PlayStation 5 has held back this generation because all the devs are focusing on that system. They're using that system as a as a basis. That's where they optimize for PlayStation 5, which is overclocked, not as fast. And when they optimize for the PlayStation 5, they don't optimize for the Xbox Series X. Usually. Some do. And then you see that in the results. You say, well, this third-party game runs better on the Xbox Series X. Why is that? Oh, because these developers actually used what the tools were there to make it the best that they can on that box. Some devs do that. Some devs do the bare minimum and just like, well, it works. Let's ship it. It works. It kind of looks like the PlayStation 5 version. Let's ship it. And PlayStation wants that. They don't want any games looking better on their competition. And that's what that parity clause is all about too. But nobody's talking about that. But whatever. Don't matter. But anyway, I appreciate y'all. I'm rambling. Appreciate y'all hanging on the show and listening to my damn ass. Like and subscribe. Hit me up on the comments below. Let me know what y'all think about Queen Sarah Bond. Giving us some insight into the future of Xbox. Giving us some little niblets and giblets and stuff about what their plans are. I'm kind of excited. But I'm more focused on the games that are coming out this year. And then, the future as far as the handheld, if it comes out, I'm finna buy it. Let's go. It's just a lot of cool stuff that's coming around. And it's good to be a gamer. Let's just say that. It's good to be a gamer. Appreciate it. Enjoy it, my dudes and my dudettes. And yeah. I'll talk to y'all on the next one. Till the way.